I'm Darren Whitten. I'm the Superintendent of Operations with the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. And we're in the final phases of trying to replace our track here in conjunction with the CDOT signal work and their new paving. Right now we're going to make a pass through of the machine to get the track perfectly lined, so there's no deviation in the line on here. And then within about an hour and a half or 2 hours, we'll start dumping rocks to fill in between the ties out here. Once that's done, this machine will come back through again and we'll lift the track up through the rock, get new fresh rock underneath it, and that gives us our final surface to meet the level that CDOT needs for their paving work to reopen the crossing. So about 2 years ago, I was approached by CDOT with their project to redo the signals here, and we discussed potentially their need to actually interrupt the pavement out here to do some of the signal work. So at that point, we contacted the PUC in Colorado, and they were able to get a hold of what's called Section 130 funds, and those are funds that are provided by the Federal Highway Safety Administration, and that's to improve the safety at railroad crossings and other things. But the Section 130 money is particularly for railroad crossings, so they were able to gather the funding for us, and we'll get this crossing done. It'll end up with a concrete surface through the crossing, which CDOT then will pave with asphalt up to give us a nice smooth transition through here. And included in that funding is also a project we're going to do on College Avenue to replace both the tracks that come out of our yard across College. And it'll be a similar setup there too. The final surface will be new concrete panels that go across the tracks instead of the old asphalt, so it won't heave. You won't have deviations for the highway traffic across there. And it gives us a more solid structure for our track as well. So in this process, since we're going through the trouble to excavate all this and redo the crossing, we brought in some contractors to help us out with that. The whole track structure is considerably strengthened so that we won't have to come back here for a long period of time. The rail itself, the previous rail, is what they call an 85-pound rail, which is basically 85 pounds for a 3-foot section. The new rail is 115 pounds for a 3-foot section. In addition, we've also put in much larger ties to distribute the loads from the trains going across, so we don't have any sinking. We put an 8-inch base of crushed rock underneath that and compacted that so we don't have any subsidence across here. And we went with a more modern fastening system. Instead of just the normal plates and spikes that you see on most tracks, this is called pandrel clips. So the rail sits down into the plates and you've got spring-loaded clips on them, and that prevents over time the normal ties will work themselves up as trains go over and pump that. With the pandrel clips on there, we'll never have that. We'll never have the gauge go out and spread. So it's going to be a really solid structure that should survive for at least 50 plus years.